What's up? What's up with it, y'all? I'm here with another one. I was going on YouTube, looking through my notifications and different things like that, and I ran across this video. Whenever I go on YouTube now, no matter what I'm about to start doing, I run across certain things, and then it just make you kind of check it out. And it's weird because this is an old video. It's like 2017. You feel me? And it got a lot of info in it. I didn't watch the whole thing, but I'm gonna just go on and do a reaction video on it, and then I'm probably not gonna do the whole video. Then again, I don't know. We'll see as we go. And then I'll put it there so you can go watch it yourself and see what you get from it. Because I'm gonna just explain what I get from it throughout the video. So it's called How We Live in Our Perceptions. Because it's a lot of the experiences that we have off psychedelics, and it's like wow. It's just like wow. It show us these things that are about to be said. But let's just dive into it, and then let's get into it.
Warning. The subject of this film you are about to watch reveals a crucial secret of your life. You should watch it very attentively, for it concerns a subject that is liable to make fundamental changes in your outlook on the material world. The content of this film is not just a different approach or a philosophical thought. It is a fact, which is also proven by science today.
Look, a lot of people be saying, like, it's proven by science. Okay, this is proven by science right here. The secret beyond matter. The Men in Black.
Man is conditioned right from the beginning of his life that the world he lives in has an absolute material reality. So he grows up under the effect of this condition.
But you heard what he said. We condition from the start. From the beginning, we condition.
And builds his entire life on this viewpoint. The findings of modern science, however, have revealed a completely different and significant reality than what is presumed.
It's like a different reality than what is presumed, than what we actually see.
All the information that we have about the external world is conveyed to us by our five senses. The world we know of consists of what our eyes see, our ears hear, our noses smell, our tongues taste, and our hands feel. Man is dependent on only those five senses since birth. That is why he knows the external world only the way it is presented by these senses.
And that's what I be saying. Like, dang, when they already know these things, they know how to control these different senses. That's why they can give us the food that we eat right now. They know it's not good for us, but our senses, our taste is craving these certain things. There's other things inside of us that are craving these things, and we'll still eat it and do whatever. But it's like, dang, bro, that is trippy. It's just trippy.
Yet, scientific research carried out on our senses has revealed very different facts about what we call external world. And these facts have brought to light a very important secret about matter, which makes up the external world.
Hey, that's the one thing that I be saying about, science and scientists and stuff like that. They do everything to the extent. You see how they got everything, all these things on him, and it's reading everything, not just his mind, but it's reading his reactions, the way his eyebrows move when certain things are going on. It's reading everything at one time.
Contemporary thinker Frederick Bester explains the point that science has reached on this subject. Statements of some scientists posing that man is an image, everything experienced is temporary and deceptive, and this universe is a shadow, seems to be proven by science in our day.
Hey, and you know how we be saying like we are reflections or different things of that nature? Like it's about the same, we just a shadow of what is. You feel me? Like as if when we go outside and the sun shine down in that dark spot, that's a shadow that is living in its own reality, you know, claiming to be something, and you know, it's like, it's crazy, man.
In order to better grasp this secret behind matter, let us be reminded of our information about our sense of sight, which provides us with the most extensive information about the external world.
Hey, and it's weird because the mushrooms was showing me this right here, and you know, like I don't remember. I just barely watched just a little bit of the video, but the mushrooms was showing me how we perceive these things, how the outside comes in and and it's really in here. It's not even out there. You feel me? Remember when I had the one and I was off the 4 ACO and I was listening to the washer and dryer and everything in the house at my brother's house, and like everything was going on, everything was in here. It was nothing that was outside of me, and it was like, it was crazy because it was in me. It was in me, all of it, and the sounds and everything. And it's like, hopefully they say something about that. That's trippy. How do we see?
The act of seeing is realized progressively. At the instance of seeing, light clusters called photons travel from the object to the eye and pass through the eye lens, where they are refracted and focus on the retina at the back of the eye. Here, rays are turned into electrical signals and then transmitted by neurons to the center of vision at the back of the brain.
That's weird. That's weird, because when I had that one experience, I was sitting in the back of my mind. I was sitting way in the back, though, like not in the back of my eyes. I was in the back of my mind, it seemed to be. And I was looking out my face, you know, which was crazy, because everything that was going on in my mind, it was like I could see it in 360. It was like these pyramid, like, things, they was like turning like that, and it was like some kind of the thing with the horses on it. I'm thinking a Ferris wheel, but it's that other thing with the horses, you know what I mean, that go around. And like I'm seeing like all these different things, but it was weird because I can see them. I can see them. I could, the way I was looking at them, I could see everything in like a 360. It was weird, the colors that was there too, because it was like these crazy like yellows and golds and stuff like that. But it was like everything was going like this, but I could see everything top, bottom, all around. I could see it all around, and I was like kind of sort of it at the same time while I'm looking out my face. But it's weird because I was looking out my face like only, it was like my face was like that, like it was like this part right here was the window. This was the window for me to see out of, like a helicopter or something. And I'm looking out of that, and I could see this part, like I can look out of this, like this was like a window, but all this was like still my head and stuff. It was wow, bro. That was wow.
The act of seeing actually takes place in this center in the brain.
Oh my God, see what I'm saying? Bro, that's where I was. I was sitting way back there. I was sitting way back there looking out my face. Wow, that's trippy. Whoa.
All the images we view in our lives and all the events we experience are actually experienced in this tiny and dark place.
Wow.
Both the film you are now watching and the boundless landscape you see when you gaze at the horizon actually fit into this place of a few cubic centimeters.
You can feel it. Like, just thinking about it, I can feel it right now. You can see it happening. Wow, bro, that is crazy. That's crazy.
Now, let us reconsider this information more carefully. When we say we see, we actually see the effect the rays reaching our eyes form in our brain by being converted into electric signals. When we say we see, we actually observe the electrical signals in our brain.
And that's weird. That's why I be saying, you know, it's like seeing like everybody sees something different. You know, like everything that you see, you can show it to somebody, a pen to somebody else, and to you it'll look like this, but to them it'll look like something else. It won't even be the same as yours, the same view, the same insight. It won't be the same, and it's weird, but it's like it's dope at the same time.
By the way, there is another point that has to be kept in mind. The brain is sealed to light, and its interior is absolutely dark. Therefore, it is never possible for the brain to contact with light itself. We can explain this interesting situation with an example. Let us
look. The example is, remember when they was like the shrooms was like it was the 4-ACO, because like I used to be scared of the dark when I used to have my mushroom experiences or when I dive in on DMT. And then I start getting used to it, but then it just made it better when I had the experience off the 4-ACO, and it was like, you are darkness. Like, that's what you are. Like, what do you mean? You create darkness. You are darkness. You come from darkness. You are all these things.
suppose that in front of us there is a burning candle, and we view its light. During this period, when we view the candle's light, the inside of our skull and our brain are in absolute darkness. The light of the candle never illuminates our brain and our center of vision. However, we watch a colorful and bright world inside our dark brain.
Hey, and you can watch these, oh my God.
The same situation applies to all our other senses. Sound, touch, taste, and smell are all perceived in the brain as electrical signals.
That is like so fascinating, because when you look at everything don't look like no electrical signals. That's why when Ezel took the mushrooms and he seen people as these little particles of light, it's because that's what they really are. You feel me? You turning on those things in there that you know that's allowing you to see things as it is. Like as it is, not this fake perception of things. No, as it is.
Therefore, our brains throughout our lives do not confront the original of the matter existing outside us, but rather an electrical copy of it formed inside our brain. It is at this point that we are misled by assuming these copies are instances of real matter outside us.
So we only getting copies? And I think I heard somebody say that. Something pertaining to that on the journey that they had. Hopefully I remember it. The external world inside our brain.
These physical facts make us come to an indisputable conclusion. Everything we see, touch, hear and perceive as matter. The world, or the universe, is only electrical signals in our brain. For instance,
it reminded me of when I was on the journey, right? And you know, I seen, you know, the as above, so below. I seen that everything that was in the sky, you know, it was the same as what was here. Well, like in the place of everything was here. It was weird because even when I stepped in my room was everything was sitting in the place of the stars, the planets, the moon, and everything. And it was like tripped out. It was tripped out, bro. And that's why I'll be like, dang, man, I don't know. Can they go to space? It seems like that ain't something that's even possible. If this is what it is, then it's like, how can they, you know, I think it's kind of impossible. I don't know, though.
For instance, we see a bird in the external world. In reality, this bird is not in the external world, but in our brain. The light particles reflecting from the bird reach our eye, and there they are converted into electrical signals. These signals are transmitted by neurons to the center of vision in the brain. The bird we see is, in fact, the electric signals in our brain. If the sight nerves traveling to the brain were disconnected, the image of the bird would suddenly disappear.
Hey, that's that, you know, when the bird flew over me and it was like me and the bird was one. And it's like, okay, yeah, because we made of that same light. We made of like everything is.
In the same manner, the bird sounds we hear are also in our brain. If the nerve traveling from the ear to the brain was disconnected, there would be no sound left. Put simply, the bird, the shape of which we see, and the sound of which we hear, is nothing but the brain's interpretation of electrical signals.
We are all light. Everything is light. Like, the shrooms show you that. Like, and you see it. And it's like, you know, you still don't be wanting to accept it because to me, it still don't make sense. Even though I know this and I seen this on experiences, it's still like, bro, how can you know, you don't be wanting to accept that.
Another point to be considered here is the sense of distance. For example, the distance between you and this screen is nothing but a feeling of space formed in your brain.
And look, bro, I told y'all that. I said, even though you way over there in New York or you over there in Hong Kong, it don't matter where you at. There is there's no distance between us. None. It don't exist. So it's like there's no space in between because everything is that light. Wow.
Also, objects that seem to be very distant in one person's view are actually images clustered at one spot in the brain.
Everything exists in the mind.
For instance, someone who watches the stars in the sky assumes that they are millions of light years away from him. Yet the stars are right inside himself and the center of vision of his brain.
So space is like really, it's just in here. It's not out there. That's our perception of it. We perceive it to be out there. But it's like really not, and it's weird because like when you think about that, to me that don't make sense because like how can anything come from another planet? If that out there is in here, how can anything, man, you know, like it don't make sense. I get it though. I understand it because that's what I seen and that's what I believe. But then that's what I'm saying. I don't want to accept it because it's like, you know, like, wow.
While you watch this film, you are in truth not inside the room you assume yourself to be in. On the contrary, the room is inside you. Your seeing your body makes you think that you are inside of it. However, you must remember that your body, too, is an image formed inside your brain. So far, we have been speaking repeatedly of an external world and a world of perceptions formed in our brain, the latter of which is what we see. However, since we can never actually reach the external world, how can we be sure that such a world really exists?
That's what I was just saying.
Definitely we cannot. The only reality we cope with is the world of perceptions we live within our minds.
Our perceptions is under control. Our perception is under control by something else.
We believe in the existence of objects just because we see and touch them, and they are reflected to us by our perceptions. However, our perceptions are only ideas in our mind. Thus, objects we captivate by perceptions are nothing but ideas, and these ideas are essentially in nowhere but our mind.
Now, you know, I don't even really want to say that because I be saying it like too much, like our perception and our ideas. It's bull, all of it. All of it is bull.
Since all these exist only in the mind, then it means that we are beguiled by deceptions when we imagine the universe and things to have an existence outside the mind. To imagine matter to have an existence outside the mind is indeed a deception. The perceptions we observe may well be coming from an artificial source. It is possible to see this in the mind's eye by an example. First,
it's like they make the perceptions better and better and better and better so you can believe it and believe it so you can stay in this. I don't know.
Let us suppose that we could take our brain out of our body and keep it alive in a glass jar. Let us put a computer in which all kinds of information can be recorded. Finally, let us transmit the electrical signals of all the data related to a setting, such as image, sound, and smell.
Hey, now remember who was talking, Beslana was talking about this right here. She was saying how the realities were like on this like this, and she was even talking about how they were stacked on top of each other, and all these realities made this. I forgot how she was explaining it, but she was explaining it like these discs, it was a lot of them, and they were all stacked on top of each other, and that's what created the reality. She was saying this right here almost, I think, if I'm mistaken. I can't remember it correctly all the way, but yeah.
This computer. Let us connect this computer to the sensory centers in our brain with electrodes and send the pre-recorded data to our brain. As our brain perceives these signals, it will see and live the setting correlated with these. From this computer, we can send to our brain also signals pertaining to our own image. For instance, we can send to our brain the electrical correlates of such senses as sight, hearing, and touch that we perceive while we sit at a desk. In that state, our brain would think itself as a businessman sitting in his office. This imaginary world would continue as long as the stimulations keep coming from the computer.
And that's why I always say, man, computers and technology is just an extension of what we are. It's not no different, but it's weird. You feel me? I think they did something like this already. I think they did an experiment like this already, and they got something living like this somewhere and thinking that it's alive, and it's really not. You know, it is, but it's not. But it is, though. It's not. It don't even need a body. You can create like it's nothing but a reflection of what this is, of what we already are. That's another reflection of it. That's a lesser reflection. You feel me? So it's like, what are we a reflection of? That's what I be tripping off of.
We would never realize that we only consist of a brain. It is indeed very easy for us to be deceived into believing perceptions without any material correlates to be real. This is just what happens in our dreams.
Wow, that's deep, man. Look, I'm gonna have to go through the whole video. I didn't even want to, but look, okay, the world of dreams. See, I didn't even make it this far. So this is gonna be very interesting. Let's talk about these dreams then and see what y'all have to say. And I'm not saying I believe all this, I'm just saying I do understand.
For you, reality is all that can be touched with the hand and seen with the eye. In your dreams, you can also touch with your hand and see with your eye. But in reality, you have neither hand nor eye, nor is there anything that can be touched or seen.
And that's the part that's hard
Taking
to
what you perceive in your dream to be material realities, you are simply deceived.
Dang. And I kind of figured that, like, you get deceived by your dreams.
For example,
too.
a person deeply asleep in his bed may see himself in an entirely different world in his dream. He may dream that he is a pilot and command a giant airplane, and even spend a great effort to command the plane. In fact, this person has not taken even one step away from his bed. In his dreams, he may visit different settings and meet with friends, have a chat with them, eat and drink together. It is only when the person awakes from his dream that he realizes all were only perceptions. If we are able to live easily in an unreal world during our dreams, the same thing can equally be true for the world we live in. When we wake up from a dream, there is no logical reason for not thinking that we have entered a longer dream that we call real life.
Yeah.
The reason we consider our dream to be fancy and the world is real is nothing but a product of our habits and prejudices.
And that is true. That's why I be tripping off my dreams, right? Certain things that happen in my dreams. It's always, like it said, the prejudices and these certain other things that got my mind to think in a certain way, from like building up to thinking a certain way, all these things that happen. And like in your dream, they'll play out in many different ways.
This suggests that we may well be awoken from the life on Earth, which we think we are living right now, just as we are awoken from a dream.
Dang, man. Okay, dang, who is the perceiver? Because you probably was thinking it, because I was too, and I'm going, okay, if all this is that, then who is the perceiver? Because we always talk about that.
After all these physical facts arises the question of primary importance. If all physical events that we know are intrinsically perceptions, what about our brain? Since our brain is a matter just like our arms, legs, or any other object, it also must be a perception just like all other objects.
And that's what
an example will illuminate.
I'm not gonna lie, I was feeling like that. Like, cause that would be everything in this reality. You know, everything is a perception. Like our brains, everything. Not like it's not limited to anything. We just limit it because of the way we smell, see, touch, and you know, and be able to interact with things, with the matter. Because we're making matter like alot or whatever, however they say that shit, bro. That shit is trippy.
The subject further. Let us think that we extend the nerves reaching our brain and put it outside our head, where we can see it with our eyes. In this case, we would be able to see also our brain and touch it with our fingers. This way, we can understand that our brain is also nothing but a perception formed by the senses of vision and touch.
Wow. Yeah, that's deep. That's deep. That says a lot though right there. Just the way from the connection of like, you know, how you touch things, and everything that you do goes right there, like everything.
Then, what is the will that sees, hears, and perceives all other senses if it is not the brain? Who is it that sees, hears, touches, and perceives the taste and smell?
The higher
Who is this being that thinks, reasons, has feelings, and moreover that says, I am me?
The I am.
One of the important thinkers of our age, Carl Pribram, also poses the same question. Since the Greeks, philosophers have been thinking about the ghost in the machine, the small man within the small man, etc. Where is I, the person who uses his brain? Who is it that realizes the act of knowing? As St. Francis of Assisi said, what we search for is the one that sees.
The one that sees. God.
In fact, this metaphysical being that uses the brain, that sees and feels, is the soul. What we call the material world is the aggregate of perceptions viewed and felt by this soul.
I would have thought he would. I should have known he was going to say something like that. And, you know, I think that thing has so many different names, you know, the soul, you know, that I am, the higher self, you know, the lower self, you know, that whatever that is has so many different names, but I think they all the same thing.
Is the bodies we possess and the material world we see in our dreams have no physical reality.
He said the bodies we possess in our physical dream, like in our dreams, they have no physical reality.
The universe we occupy and the bodies we possess now also have no physical reality. The real absolute being is the soul. Matter consists merely of perceptions viewed by the soul. Yes, even if we start with the presupposition that matter is real, the laws of physics, chemistry, and biology all lead us to the fact that matter consists of an illusion and to the inevitable actuality of a metaphysical matter.
It's illusionary. All of it. It's illusionary. Like, period. And like the shrooms can show you that 100 times, but we will never accept it because we want it to be all these different things. And like, okay, it is, but at the same time, it just really ain't. It's an illusion, all of it.
This is the secret beyond matter. This fact is so definite that it alarms some materialist scientists who think matter to be the absolute being. Science writer Lincoln Barnett says in his book, The Universe and Einstein, along with philosophers' reduction of all objective reality to a shadow world of perceptions, scientists have become aware of the alarming limitations of man's senses. All these facts bring us face to face with a very significant question. If the thing we acknowledge to be the material world is merely comprised of perceptions given to our soul, then what is the source of these perceptions?
Then what is the source of these perceptions? I'm like, wow, bro, yeah, that video, that was a good video right there. That's something to like really think about, like, you know, and I want to know y'all thoughts on it. Even if you go watch it and come back, you know, without me babbling in between, in and out the video, you know, but I just had to do one on this because it was like very interesting. But I thank you for joining the channel and sitting through this. And I'll see you on the next live. Peace out.